What is happening, guys? It is Tuesday, December 4th, and as promised, Project Duramax is on the fly. Here we go. That's a little misaligned, huh? Alright, well, I think I spoke about having to get the bed off of the truck, and I don't have an engine hoist, and I thought of a few ways to do it with the engine hoist, but I don't have one. So, what I did, there are 8 bolts that all bolt up from the underside of this that you need to unbolt. Take a flashlight and give you guys a rough idea where they are. 6 of the 8 came out, the other 2 broke right off. So, that right there is a bolt spot. There is one on the top of the frame back there, about 1.5 feet away. This right here sits on a little rubber pad, so there's no bolt there. And then you have a mount there and a mount forward. These ones broke off immediately. Am I worried? No, not really, because I can knock the plug out of there. I think that is either a captured nut or something. I'm not really worried about it. 6 out of 8 ain't bad. The other thing you have to do, and now that the bed's up in the air, we can see it. You can see you have a plug there with a gray and a blue one down there. Those suckers plug up into there for your tail lights and all that good stuff. Now you're probably wondering, well, why don't you just take the bumper off and slide the bed back? Well, it's pretty crusty, and quite frankly, I'm being lazy. I don't feel like it. I may end up doing it later. Then your filler neck. There is a screw there, and then a push pin here. You can see the filler neck's hanging right there. No big deal. Took the floor jack with a couple boards on it and jacked it up high enough to wedge 6x6s underneath it, and it's sturdy. I'd like to go a little bit higher with it, but I'm trying to figure out how I want to crib it a little more safely if it's that high up in the air. I sure as hell don't want it to smack the back of the cab, because then that means more work for me. Then that means the bed does have to come all the way off. But for now, this is working pretty good. So, we've got that much done so far. My next plan of attack is most likely going to be to pop off, turn the flashlight off, take off those moldings right there, take the running boards off, which shouldn't be too big of a feat, and then pull the kick panels off inside right there, pull the weather stripping up, flop all that out of the way. I'll show you guys when I do that how that works. I'm thinking I want to pull the rear doors off. Haven't decided 100% on that yet. I can pick those up by myself. The front ones are a bit heavy. I've had them off before changing hinge pins I pulled it under that little hook I have in the ceiling there that goes up into a rafter. They're not too bad. You can pick them up with a floor jack, but I don't have a door lifting tool, which would be nice. But this is a budget job. I can't afford to buy another tool right now. So we'll get that tore apart and start drilling some spot welds and see where we're at from there. So I'll catch up with you guys in a few. Okay guys, running boards are off. I dare not bore you with that little particular. I'm going to disconnect the battery of this truck, so I'm going to have the doors open for a while. And I don't know if you can see that. There's a 3/8 bolt in there. I don't know how many of you guys have put snowplows on these trucks with the side post batteries, or just GM vehicles in general with the side posts. Those little nuts that are captured inside the battery terminal themselves, they're not very long and they barely grab any threads. So one thing you can do is what I've done here, and I'll give you a little look-see on how this goes. Maybe it's kind of a pain in the ass to take it apart, but I've actually got a 3/8 nut jammed onto this bolt And that's what holds all these together, and you can basically bottom the damn thing out if you want. It works really good. You don't strip them out that way. And it gives you something to put a set of jumper cables on. You just gotta watch there's nothing metal behind it, because you can easily short something out. I'm disconnecting it for two reasons here. First of which, I'm going to be doing some welding. Now, I don't always disconnect battery when I'm welding. There's a couple trains of thought on that. I'm not a professional welder, so I'm not 100% certain on the particulars on whether or not DC welding can actually fuck up a computer, but I usually disconnect them. Let's see, that didn't work. We got to disconnect both grounds. So now we got to go to the auxiliary battery. If you don't have yourself one of these little guys, those are worth their weight in gold for a side terminal battery. Most little wrenches are not 6-point, and this one is. Alright. That should do the trick there. Double check. The other reason is I'm going to have the doors open on this thing a lot. Okay, no lights. He's good. Okay, so next thing that's going to happen is we're going to pop those side door moldings up. Or, sorry, the one on the cab corner. I lied. And we're going to pop that off, and then I might as well leave these doors open at this point. Then I'm going to pop those kick panels off. So I'm going to get you guys set up and get some tools out here and show you how this goes. Alright, hang on. Alright, we're going to do this in real time here. Can we see what that thermometer says? It's about 60 here in the shop, and I have the door open today. 60 degrees. I'll give you guys a shot of what it's like outside. It ain't too bad. We're expecting some thunderstorms later. It's kind of doom and gloom. Not bad though. It's over 60 degrees, so I'll take that for December 4th here in the heart of Ohio. Okay. Now there's a couple different ways you can go about taking these off. I have a plastic, I guess you can call these a Bondo scooper or whatever. That's what I used to use it for, but nowadays it's pretty stiff. Take this and wedge it behind here because it's plastic. I also have a hammer. I can tap on it if I need to, but I don't like to use that if I don't have to. Shit, that didn't take anything to pop that off. And that's that. Another thing you guys can do, if you have like the side door moldings that are really long, especially the painted ones, take a piece of your thin MIG welding wire and run it out of your welder and cut it off and put it behind. I don't know if I'm even in the shot here. Yeah, we'll go from this side. You can put a piece of MIG wire behind here and use it like a cheese slicer and just drag it through. And usually it, usually it won't tear it up. It'll just cut the double-sided tape, and then you come back with your eraser wheel or Goo Gone or whatever the hell you use. I use an eraser wheel to take that shit off. Get some camera angle of the dangle going here. Basically, this molding just pops up. Had it up several times, so I know it should be pretty easy. Yeah, some nice salt crust in there on the carpeting. And the side kick panels come out real easy too. We're just going to flop these right inside the door. This inner panel should... Oh, it's going to be a bitch. Oh, it's got the seat belt on, I forgot about that. Yeah, cheat. Pull that up like that for now. Give you guys a little idea. I know you can see the spot welds all through here. Now you don't always have to go up into there. What I'm going to try first is I'm going to try cutting this sumbitch off right in this crease right here to see if I can piece the new one in there, because I really don't want to F with that door latch. But I want to cut it off here, and I want to see how crusty it is. If it's shitty and crusty up in there, then I'm doomed. I got to cut it off, spot welds and all. So that's this part, and then I will I'm going to close this door. I'm going to get a cutoff wheel out here and do a little surgery into that cab corner and see how effed up it is. See how far it's messed up. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little window in it so I can get a rough idea of where I'm going to be. Shit right now. Oh. Cut this off. I want to show you guys this. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to put a dust mask on because there's going to be a lot of mess here. That is why you lose your cab corners so fast. Oh, let's not lose this. Foamity foam, foam, foam. And there's more of that shit up in there. Let's see if we can see that. Why not? Foam's only good for two things: insulation and holding water. And the second of which we don't like. Oh yeah. Can you guys feel me? Can you see that? Let's straighten this up a little bit. Focus. And that big black wad of crap up in there, that is urethane foam. And that's all got to come out. Now it looks, I don't know if I got the camera on the tripod kind of folded up here. Looks like about 4 inches up into there we're clean. And where that piece of metal up in there behind the foam makes it turn, that looks okay. I think we might be alright. So we'll continue surgery here. Give you guys an idea of how this little project's going to play out. Give myself an idea too. Eventually I'll get the spot weld cutter out and start cutting some spot welds, but I want to see what the hell's what here. That stuff is Swiss cheese. Notice I have gloves on here, guys. I have a whole face shield, but it's so humid out today that putting that thing on, it's just going to fog all to hell. Alright, well, that shows me a little bit. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm just doing a little exploratory surgery here. I'm going to go underneath the bottom lip here. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, and I can't I don't know how I'll get the camera underneath the truck to show you while I'm doing this, but the next thing I'm going to do is start. Darkness is among us. Right where that camera beam's hitting, in between each one of those ribs there's a spot weld. I'm going to go along and I might drill them, or I might take the air hammer to them. I haven't decided yet. You can see this part of this inner rocker's gone. I'm going to have to make something for that, or buy another one. I don't know that I'm going to buy another one, but it's, you look at that inner rocker and it's crappy a little ways up, but I may spot blast that or wire wheel the shit out of it and put some MOSFO on there, rust convert it, and go from there. Those rockers just don't look too bad all the way up in there. I might, I don't know, that's pretty rusty. Shit, I might have to go higher than I want to. But what I'd like to do, ew, hey, that might help me out. See those two bolts protruding? 1, 2. I think those are my door striker bolts. That would help me line up the new rocker just fine. Nice. We may give that a shot. Alright, we got 10 minutes on this. I'm going to do a little bit more exploration, and I will bring you guys back for the fun. See you in a few. Alright guys, I started making a little progress here, which I wanted to do before I brought you guys in to show you a little more of what I'm doing. I don't know if that helps with that door open or not. Nope, you're zoomed out of it. Okay, your spot welds. This is a spot weld cutter right here. It's about a $30 or $40 unit. I bought this from my local air gas welding supply store a year or two ago, and it's the pilot type. It's basically got a little punch in the middle, and you need to take a center punch like this and center punch every one of those so that bit stays centered, which I've already done. Going down here, and I'm going to try, there's like a little line in this rocker down a ways. I think it might be zoomed in too far for it. I want to show you guys how the spot weld cutter works, and basically this is going to be a long, tedious process. I was going to take the rear doors off, but I can't find my my plug for excuse me a minute. I just noticed I had a line wrench still hanging on my bleeders from last week. That's not good. That's what happens when you get in a hurry. I can't get the inner panel off to unplug the harness for the door, for the door locks and all that. So I'm going to need to do a little research on that. I started taking the rear seat out to see if that was what was holding it up, but I've never had one out before. So without further ado, safety glass is absolute must for these metal sheathings. So far so good. I'm starting to get in tight quarters over here though. Put this door on. I always want to start this kind of slow. These particular type are not like your Harbor Freight ones, which the Harbor Freight ones will work, but you really got to baby them. And for the 10 or 15 bucks you give for them, spend an extra 20 or 30 bucks and get one of these. Some of these are right on the edge. They're not even in the center of the rocker. I know they're going to want to bite it. Come on, baby. Two more. Center punch that one good enough. That's what happens when you don't center punch it good enough. You'll probably take like an 18 or an 1/8 inch drill bit and pilot these just a tiny bit, and it might help, but no mas. Okay, that's loose all the way across there. And now I'm going to take it. I might take the cutoff wheel. I think I wore it down to nothing though. So I'm going to have to change a cutoff wheel. I'll be back with you guys in a second. I'm sorry this video is kind of choppy, but I'm not real fast at this, and this would be like a 2-hour video. So stand. Alright, let's cut a little bit of this off. I'm going to zoom you guys back out just a titty bit. Nice treasures. I'm gonna take a peek up in here. Maybe we can show you guys. This one looks fucked all the way up. I was hoping not to see that. Alright, well, basically tells me what I'm going to be doing here for the next couple hours. Drilling spot welds. I'll give you guys a quick view of this, and then I'm going to eat my lunch. It's already 10 after 1. And definitely don't do as I did with the hold down for the striker for this rear door. You know, bolted out of the rocker and actually bolts through this, which is spotted to the inner rocker on this truck. Now I don't know, but it looks to me like that has to come off anyway, because here's the new rocker and it's actually made to it. So that does have to come off, never mind. If you're putting the slip over type on, definitely work gingerly around that. This is the driver's side, by the way. Let's see, is the camera gonna pick it up? If I can get enough light in there. It's pretty crappy all the way through and through. So it looks like I'm gonna have to whack this whole thing off. Still got quite a bit of meat to it, but I don't know. I got the whole rocker, so I might as well try and piece it in there. Alright guys, I'm gonna eat some lunch. We'll catch up with you guys in a... Okay, so I got aggravated trying to get in back here. Pulled the inner door skin off. There are 2 7mm screws that go in through the cup holder and the grab handle, and the rest are push-in clips, as you can see. kind of dark in there. Okay, this little keeper bar to keep the door from overextending. That's a star bit. I got it out with a 9mm metric socket. It worked. I don't have a star that size. Next thing that you have to do, well, I already disconnected. This wiring goes in through the little hole and comes up to the speaker, and there's a couple of clips that hold it in there. Speaker just pops out. Push the tab in and it rocks back because it's got a non-movable one on that side that it pivots on. Notice the door's flopping around. Okay. On top of this post, that is a snap type, not a snap ring, circlip, E-clip, whatever you want to call it. You need to pop that off. And I can't keep the damn door open very well and do all this at the same time, so you're going to have to take my word for it. Okay, I'm going to grab the door stand. This door just drops right into there. Okay, let me get you guys out of the way, and basically, if my memory serves me correctly on how this looks like it goes together, that's it. That door's off. And onto the door stand it shall go. Fender stand. Yeah, look at the rust on the bottom of that. And it's just the back doors. And of course that's where the rockers rusted first, so that gives you a little idea how these trucks rot. I'm going to have to go get some welding blankets before I start doing anything too crazy here. But we gotta, everything I touch is covered in grease. Big surprise there. I sprayed the hell out of this truck, lubricate door hinges every time I change the oil. We're going to have to find where the spot welds are on this boy right here. So that's going to mean taking a grinder to it. And we'll do that here real quick and see where we're at. I can't remember how high that rocker has to go up, so I'm going to have to bust some other spot welds loose, and we'll go from there. You can see how this cab corner rolls in like that. I'm going to get the new one and just set it on there for shits and grins. See how bad it doesn't fit. Figure out what I did with it. These are, of course, not slip-on type. That is a passenger side and the driver's side. Ooh, that sumbitch looks way long. I could be wrong. I'm going to need to get the bed farther out of the way before I mess too much with that. So I'm going to get a grinder out here and I'll be back. Alright, we have a 3-inch die grinder with a 36 grit on it. Let's see what I can see back here. Of course, I this yet. I don't even see a spot weld yet. That's interesting. I think what I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys can see this. This piece right here is part of the rocker itself. If you look at how these are made, should be the driver's side. It's got this bump out down here and then it goes straight up. So I gotta mangle some of that cab corner off of there. Go grab a tape measure and, sorry for the shaky cam, get a rough idea about how high that sucker's gotta go up. It looks like 7 inches from here. So somewhere around that tape line. Let's see, do I want to cheat? I want to cheat. Let's do this. By the way, air tools get really cold when you're running them. Gloves aren't a bad idea. I'm going to throw those on here real quick. Not that you guys don't already know that. My head's probably in the way of what I'm doing here, but I'm just taking the grinder over the edge to cut it. Urethane foam here. I watched HPR do that on that one he was working on. Boy, that really looks like a disaster. Okay, so you can see this is part of the rocker, and that goes up quite a ways into there. The cab corner covers it up, of course. Yeah, we see how that works. It looks to me like there may not be spot welds on that. It looks like there is adhesive on that. And then they seam seal the edge. I could be wrong. There might be a spot weld right in there. Looks like I don't see any light coming through. So I'm going to work on busting this apart. And I'll come back and explain to you what I came up with. Alright, see. Alright guys, time for the afternoon wrap up. I'll show you where I'm at here. Don't blink. Both front rear doors off. 2/3 of that rocker's cut off. I think I'm going to stop that new rocker probably right in here. That's 90% on the front side. And it's not crusty down in there. It's got some scale on it, but it's not too bad. I think I can make that work. So I'm going to drill out the last couple spot welds. I broke the pilot on the spot weld cutter. It jumped and bucked and broke the tip, so I'm not going to get too many more drilled, but that inner rocker's got to be changed, whether I make my own or buy one, they're 90 bucks a piece for that piece of steel, which is pretty ridiculous for a piece of 20 gauge steel. That's pretty much it. The door panel, there's a 10 millimeter screw here and here, not door panel, the door itself, and then a 10 here for the thing that catches it from blowing open and hyperextending itself. You pop the grommet out here where your wiring goes through. There's a small set of wires that plugs into the fuse box down there. You pop those out. There's a wire retainer there, and where that blue handle is, that's a connector for all the door functions, locks and all that. I believe the one in the fuse panel is for the power. So that's all popped out. So I'm going to cut up a little bit more here. Certainly you want to stay away from that foam here, because I'm going to be leaving in about an hour or hour and a half. It's already, let's see, it's 10 till 4. Still 60 degrees out. It's been raining off and on. I went online to check the price of those interrockers to decide whether I'm going to buy one or not. 90 bucks is awfully expensive for basically a flat piece of steel. It does have some reinforcement in it, where it's got these punched or bead rolled into it basically, to give it a little bit more strength. I haven't decided yet. Supposedly they're in stock. I might be able to drive and go get them tomorrow, but I'm going to tackle this one side at a time. I do need to get this bed off. I don't have enough room to get back where I want to get, so I'm going to have to get either a buddy over here, because 2 guys can pick this up. Hell, I picked the back half of the bed up by myself, just to see how heavy it was, and it ain't bad at all. Get 1 guy over here and we can pick it up and set it on sawhorses and go from there. See what we got. So hope you enjoyed Project Duramax Part 1, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. See ya.